Not so long ago, I hated cooking. And then Laura happened. Who am I? Well, my name is Ruta and I'm a Lithuanian currently living in Iran. I know! Every day, one by one, I'm gonna try every recipe of Laura, starting from the very beginning. Come, join me on my challenge. Let's go! Fancy much? Very much, because it's a 150th day of my challenge where I'm trying a new recipe of Laura in the kitchen every single day, and then I post all of those experiments every second day just to give myself enough time to prepare everything, like all the technical stuff. So today I feel like will be the fanciest recipe trying ever, because I don't know about you, but for me, making a cheesecake at home, I didn't even know how you make it, but I always assumed that it has to be a lengthy and kind of hard process. So I never even thought that I will do something like that at home. A girl who wasn't cooking at all, like 1.5 to 2 years ago, now is making a cheesecake at home. And not only that, okay, so learn from my mistakes, read the recipe from the beginning to the end first before going shopping, because this might happen. So my mom isn't a big baker and she doesn't have lots of pans. So when I read the name cheesecake, I kind of saw a spring form in the recipe, just scanned the recipe. So I thought, oh, okay, so usually you use a 23-24 centimeters in diameter one. So I just, when I was out and I saw one, I just bought it, right? I came back home, I read the recipe carefully, and then I learned that it's 26 centimeters in diameter one that you need in this recipe. So after debating, I actually went and bought this one, because when you think, well, they look kind of similar, right? But when you think about it, 2-3 centimeters in diameter difference adds some volume, doesn't it? And I bought a lot of cream cheese for this recipe, so all the cheesecake better fit in one baking pan. So anyways, I feel so, I don't know how many times I already repeated this word, but I seriously feel so fancy today, because I will try sour cream as well for the first time in a dessert recipe. I will use my mom's homemade raspberry jam. Coolness and fanciness is just emitting from every single part of this recipe. So let's go over the ingredients and let's get started. We are gonna need, for the crust, 100 grams of cracker crumbs, 80 grams of butter, melted, and 50 grams of sugar. For the cheesecake, 1.1 kilos of cream cheese, 300 grams of sugar, 240 grams of sour cream, 30 grams of flour, 4 eggs, zest of 1 small lemon, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and half a teaspoon of salt. And for the berry topping, we're gonna need 170 grams of raspberry jam and some fresh berries. I have here raspberries, blackberries, and blueberries, 125 grams each. Started by turning on my oven to preheat to 170 degrees, because I will need it in just a second. And now I will prepare my pan, which you do want a springform pan, which basically means it opens up and you can remove the bottom. And this one is 26 centimeters in diameter. So just in case there's any kind of spillage, which Laura says there shouldn't be, I will cover the bottom of the pan, like from the outside, with some aluminum foil. And then, so that the cheesecake is really easy to take out once it's done, I will spray the inside of it with some non-stick cooking spray. Okay, so now when that's done, I can set it aside and make the crust. So I'll take the cracker crumbs, the butter, and the 50 grams of sugar, and a huge bowl, because it's always so much easier to mix when you have a really big bowl and a lot of space. I really hope you can see the inside though. So I'll take all of the crust ingredients, add to the bowl, and then just mix until it all combines. That's so easy to mix it with this big spoon. Maybe I need something like that at home. We'll see. I need to inspect it more. So now I'm taking back my form because as you can see, it's perfect. It's kind of like sandy texture. That's exactly what you want. So now I will dump all of that mixture into the pan, and then using my hands, and if I need, I have a flat bottomed glass, I will press it gently to even it out and kind of form the crust. I will mainly focus on the bottom. I don't need the crust to go to the sides as much. Okay, perfect. And now into the oven for 8 minutes. Okay, and in the meantime, I'm gonna make the filling, and I will use the same bowl, just not the spoon because I don't really need it. So I'll take all of the ingredients, like seriously, all of the ingredients minus for the topping, the jam and the berries. So I have the cream cheese, sugar, sour cream, flour, lemon zest, what was that? Salt, vanilla extract, and I have some eggs here as well. I was really debating whether I should use a handheld mixer here because Laura does make her filling in her standing mixer, but she mentioned that you shouldn't over mix this filling as you will increase the chance of your cheesecake, well, cracking up. So I've decided to actually try and make it with a whisk. So let's see how that goes. If it's too hard, I will bring in my handheld mixer, but for now, let's try this one. Oh man, that's a workout, alright, but it's totally doable with a whisk. Okay, so now I'll just pour it all over the crust and put it back into the oven for 1 hour and 20 minutes. Ooh, look at this! It kind of cracked a little bit. I have let it cool down just a tiny bit because there was so much noise everywhere around. So during that time it cracked a little bit, but that doesn't really matter because we will top it so nicely. But that will happen actually tomorrow because now I will let it cool down completely at room temperature, then put it into the fridge overnight and see you tomorrow. There's some water on top of the cheesecake, which I really want to kind of just pat down with some paper towels, so that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I might have left it, I don't know, but I really felt like wiping it off. It's because I covered my pan with some plastic wrap before putting it into the fridge overnight, and it kind of condensed a little bit of water, but I don't know. That's done already. So it's so cool. I already touched it. It's like hard cheesecake smelling cake. I do have a little crack here, but I'm not worried about that because now I will top the top of it with some raspberry jam and then some fresh berries, and you won't even see it. So now, as for the raspberry jam, as I mentioned, I'm gonna use my mom's homemade one. and it is already pretty runny, so I actually can skip the next step which Laura suggests. In case your jam is a bit of a harder texture, you do want to heat it up like a minute or so in the microwave or on the stove, just to loosen it up a little bit, like a minute or so that it would be easier to drizzle it over the top of the cheesecake. But mine, again, it's already ready to be drizzled. And now only the berries left. I'll take raspberries, blackberries, and the blueberries, and in no particular order whatsoever, I'm gonna put them on top of the cheesecake. Cutting into the cake. I don't know why. I feel like it's one of the prettiest things I've tried at being a cheesecake, as I didn't fail up to today. I thought, okay, so now I will mess it up somehow while cutting it, and I was so nervous, but look at this. I don't even know how to call it. If I wasn't as nervous, and if I was cutting, well, more confidently, I'm pretty sure I would see more of the white cheesecake itself, but as I was going in the second and the third time, I kind of transferred the jam into the cake. But if that doesn't look impressive to you, I don't know if I can show you anything more than that. This is so cool. So I won't waste a minute. Okay, I definitely need to take a smaller bite, but I'm honestly speechless. It's just like too cool. Should I give up like right now while I'm at my peak? This is a legit cheesecake. Oh my goodness. I go and pay a lot to my favorite, well, it's like a coffee shop. They have the most awesome cheesecake there, and every single time when I want to kind of treat myself and I feel like craving for cheesecake, I always go there because it's so good. But this is actually, I feel like it's something like that, but better because it has fresh fruit on top. That one, it's just a cheesecake. Oh my god. I'm seriously considering now quitting because I don't know. I cannot top that. This is, oh, I remember. For every single time I forget that you don't see the beauty on the table. I think I don't need to say anything more. This is awesome. If you ever fancy making a cheesecake yourself, I do suggest trying this recipe because, come on, I didn't fail. The first time I tried something as fancy as cheesecake and I didn't fail. I'm honestly quite like, not nervous, but like so excited that, you know, like you have this tingly feeling inside your chest. Like I feel that for this cheesecake. Anyways, if you want, go check the original recipe by Laura, either there or there. I'm never sure where I'm gonna put it. So the written recipe will be in the description box down below in both American and the metric systems. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do that because 150 recipes and counting. So be sure to check out my channel in a day because I'm pretty sure it's the time for the best of the best video where I will look back at the last 30 recipes I've tried and pick out the ones which stood out the most. So if you're interested in that, be sure to come back in a day or so. So thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in a day. Bye!